Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We did want to give a thank you to the Lower Bucks County Chamber of Commerce for being a promotion partner for today's webinar. We hope you're all doing well and staying safe during this time. And obviously, this unprecedented time calls for changes in how we operate and communicate as a business. And not only is this affecting us now, but it's going to affect how we operate in the future. We know there's a lot of uncertainty in how we navigate through this. So today we want to take a closer look at some strategies and key steps to take that will be helpful during the present time and beyond. Just to note, there is a questions panel down below where you can feel free to send in any questions you may have. We do have some time allotted at the end where we can get to some of those questions. So let's get started. Just to introduce myself, I am Tara Needles. I'm the social media manager for DirectLync. I work hand in hand with our marketing team in helping to create and implement our marketing strategy for DirectLync on our social media channels. And I also work with our clients who are in a variety of different industries and work with them by managing their presence on social media to help them generate brand awareness and to promote their business. Christine, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Tara. Hey, everyone. I'm Christine Williams. I'm the head of marketing here at DirectLync. I work with Tara to really build and execute our marketing strategy, as well as over my career, I've worked with both small and mid-sized businesses to build and execute their marketing and engagement strategies. My passion as a marketer really stems from how we can combine data and technology to build better experiences and digital interactions with our customers. So I'm excited to be here with you today and share some of ideas and strategies to you for how you can pivot your sales and marketing plans as we look towards companies reopening and kind of the economy reopening. So before we dive in a little bit, I wanted to give you a quick 30-second intro of DirectLync, and then we'll really hit into the content. We're a digital marketing company located in Newtown, right outside of Philadelphia. So we've been on lockdown since mid-March here. But we work with growing businesses to help them build and expand their digital presence. We offer a suite of different marketing services and solutions that are aimed at simplifying how you manage and run your own marketing. So we'll briefly touch at the end on our platform and some of our services, but now I'm ready to dive right in. So I wanted to start out this webinar with really taking a look at our journey so far throughout this pandemic. We've all been through a lot and learned a lot along the way, and these things that we're learning not only kind of changed how we're communicating and our marketing and sales strategies during the pandemic, but also will change how we operate after the pandemic and as we're preparing. So we really started out the journey of preparing for COVID. We didn't know exactly what would happen when the pandemic hit the US, and a lot of the preparation really meant changing how we work. If we were working in an office, moving to work from home, maybe even shutting our doors for not really understanding how long that would be. The second phase is when we really started to understand more of the impact. This is when we were in lockdown and we realized it might not be a short-term shutdown. So we started to understand how not only this affected our own businesses, but how our customers were being affected, how their businesses were being affected, and how it was really changing their shopping and buying behaviors. And this all really led to the shift in our marketing and sales strategies. We had to adjust these for a longer term than we really thought we had to in the beginning. And, it meant coming up with new ways to service our customers. Some people, did curbside pickup or opened up digital ways to shop for their product when they hadn't before. It meant changing a lot of our communication strategies, our ads, our messaging on our websites, our sales strategies to be more mindful of the time and what our customers were facing. And for some people, it meant, completely shutting down their business and not being able to sell their products or services in any way, but still trying to figure out how to stay top of mind and relevant to their customers during this time. So that brings us to, where we are today. We're really trying to, bridge that gap from shifting our marketing strategies to starting to prepare for, the reopening. And it's definitely an uncertain and unknown what the future brings and how consumers will behave once, we reopen the lockdown. But it's important that we start to, take what we learned from those past phases and prepare a plan that's flexible and agile so that we can, have a plan for opening and communicating to our customers. And this can definitely be a challenge. I wanted to share with you today a recent survey that I saw the Carney Group did. They polled 600 marketers, mostly from small to mid-sized businesses, to see how they're preparing and how they feel prepared for when the economy reopens, specifically around their marketing. And I'm showing this to you today because, if you look at the top two, the majority of the people, are still working on their plan or trying to gather information to put their plan together. And you're not alone if you're in this area, if you don't have a plan ready to go. That's what we're hoping to, help you figure out today. Today, we're going to try and arm you with some ideas, considerations, and information to help you start building that plan. We'll cover how to gather data and information to inform your plan, the different types of communication strategies that we've kind of learned in those first 3 phases that we think will carry on and be helpful for you to know going forward. We'll share some ideas with you on how you can optimize any type of marketing budget that you may have. We'll talk about how you can create your plan, and once you create it, really measure it to see if it's working. And lastly, how we can evaluate, how you can evaluate your technology is at this time. It's a great time to really look at your technology and if it's going to fit what you need in your marketing plan moving forward, or if you need to reevaluate what you currently have. So with that, we're gonna dive into our first piece. I'm gonna hand it over to Tara to get us started.
Thank you. Okay. So right now we may need to reconsider any plans that we had put in place for the future to best fit what's going on. Any content and campaigns are going to need to be looked at a bit more closely, and we're going to need to decide a few things. What content can be paused, and then what can we pivot or shift, and then how can we prioritize it? So one good thing is that anything you did have plans and need to take a break from, you can put back in place at some point in the future if it makes sense to do so. There are 3 main points to consider when creating your marketing plan now for the future. And I do want to emphasize that these 3 key points we're about to go over should already be put into motion at the present time as well. So the first main point is be empathetic. Everyone's experiencing the effects of the pandemic, and it's critical that we reevaluate the message that the brand is trying to convey. We want to make sure that you meet your customers where they're at, and you're going to want to use a sensitive and empathetic tone when you're writing your content. Something to consider is also you want to think about what images you're going to be putting out there. Does the imagery you're going to be using represent the current world we are living in? You might want to swap out any images that show people in close proximity or even touching, just to be mindful that all of your content should be relatable and relevant to the current world we're living in. Another key point is that right now it's about building your relationships. People, including us, are experiencing fear, stress, and anxiety among a lot of other emotions. So, we're trying to balance that work and home life in the best way possible. Let's make sure that we're not heightening the anxiety and pushing sales or business as usual. We want to be there for our customers and check in with them. So being empathetic and valuable and relevant is really going to set that solid foundation for business relationships that will continue to grow from now and into the future. And the last point I wanted to touch on is put your customers first. People are looking for support right now, and they're going to need the support in the future as well. So when the economy does open back up, that means businesses will be opening up, but we know that that's going to be in a very different way. So think about what your customers' wants and needs will be and offer some sort of value. And like I said before, this is important to be doing now and then continuing to do as things progress. And I'm going to turn it back to you, Christine.
Thanks, Tara. I think that really ties, your last point really ties nicely into, what we're going to talk about next. It's important that you can understand your customer's mindset, and that's going to be a key piece to being able to build your reopening plan. Your customers' needs and wants right now and within the next few months are very different than they were before the pandemic. But instead of guessing how your customers feel, it's important that you truly understand them. And the only way to do this is to gather customer insights. The first place I suggest you would start is start about analyzing your own data. Talk to your sales and your service teams. Pull together some of the conversations they've been having and what they've been hearing for customers. Also, look at your social media and website data. How are your customers interacting with you on social? How are they engaging with you, with your content? What's resonating with them right now? You can use all of this information to really identify changes in their buying behavior, their engagement with your business, how they're using your product or service, to help you understand, that shift in their behavior during this time. Next, after you've analyzed some of your data, start to perform some market research. How are your competitors altering their message? Are people interacting with them on social media? Are they offering promotions and getting a good result from them? Are people asking different questions to them on social? Are there any similarities or differences in your plan than your competitors, or opportunities of things that you could do? Next, once you've kind of done your research and analyzed your data, it's time to really just talk to your customers. Start by reaching out to them, making phone calls. Either your sales team, your sales or your service people can, or you can just get on the phone and talk to them. And it's really not to sell them, but just to have a conversation and understand, how do they feel about reopening? Are they looking forward to it? Do they have reservations? What are those reservations? How do they feel about your products during this time? That can really help you, figure out what to kind of pull out in your messaging as you're putting your plan together. And another great way to do this is to send a survey. This is a way to reach a lot of your customers with more of a minimal effort, but because you're not having that conversation with them, you have to be very strategic about how you phrase your questions. So you want to make sure your questions are kind of pulling those same insights and identifying the change in their mindset. I wanted to share with you, just as an example of this, a survey that I received the other day. It's from a boutique that I usually frequent when I go to the beach. They have a couple places on the East Coast. So it's a small clothing boutique, but they just sent out this short email asking to take a 2-minute survey. It's not long, just to kind of understand, how their customers would feel about them opening their doors. So the first question, which I thought was a great way to start, is just on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Where is your mindset right now thinking about shopping in a store? And then secondly, based off of that question, if I answered that I'm not that comfortable, or that I don't feel comfortable, shopping in store, they want to know what they can do to make you feel more comfortable. So it's really pulling at those strings, like I mentioned before, of trying to understand, what makes you feel uncomfortable exactly. Is it, just going out in public? Is it you're unsure of our cleaning behaviors? Are there things that we can kind of address, to address those feelings? Next, they really ask, what services you would like to see from us. So what this tells me is that this company is thinking about offering these 4 different types of services for their customers. But I love, what a survey does is, a company could just go out and offer these 4 things and let their customers know that they're offering these. But by putting out a survey, you can actually hone in on what your customers really want you to focus on. So if everyone, is saying private store access and virtual styling, maybe you don't have to use the technology or the time talking about ordering online or the phone ordering. So you really get an idea of where to focus your time and attention. Then lastly, they just end with 2 open-ended questions. What are you most looking forward to? This can really pull on those strings of, what are the positives? What are you looking forward to when it reopens? And is there anything else you'd like to share with us? So, this is a 5-question survey, but I think with the answers that people give to you, you could get a lot out of, how you can use change your business practices and communicate with your audience moving quickly. And by going through the process of collecting customer insight, you kind of remove that guesswork. You have a better chance of hitting the mark as you build and execute your plan moving forward. And it may sound a little time consuming to go through all 4 of those steps that I mentioned earlier, but you waste a lot more time and money if you go down the wrong road. So I promise you, it's all worth it, analyzing your data and getting those customer insights.
So now we're going to touch a little bit on social media advertising and how to take advantage of the current digital environment. So there are a lot of businesses that are pausing their social media campaigns and they're reassessing their marketing budget. So with the drop in demand for social media advertising, it's really a good time to spread brand awareness for your business. And right now, your ad spend is more likely to reach a wider audience for about the same cost. Without having to compete as much with other businesses, it's good to give you that opportunity to kind of step in and get your name in front of more people. We know that people are obviously spending more and more time on social media these days. So it's really a great time to seize the opportunity and get your brand out there to build that awareness. Because of COVID-19, Instagram is probably going to be seeing the biggest and strongest growth out of all of the social media channels. And according to eMarketer, it will be nearly 14% growth on that particular platform. So your brand really can easily get more exposure on any social media channel, but just make sure that whatever channel you are using, it does align with your industry.
Thanks, Tara. So, as you start thinking about the ways you're going to invest in marketing and your plan going forward, I really recommend that you can take an agile approach to your plan. So, if you've heard of agile or specifically agile marketing, this may make sense to you. But if not, I'll just give you a brief overview of what it is. So, agile marketing is a tactical marketing approach in which teams use sprints or really short, finite periods of intensive work to complete projects cooperatively. After each sprint, they measure the impact and then continuously and incrementally improve results over time. So what that really looks like and what that means is that you get a team together that comes from different areas within your organization. So you might use product and marketing, you may pull in your service team or your sales, and you put together, you align yourselves together and start putting together a marketing strategy or plan. From here, you can launch different types of campaigns, and you'll look at weekly together with that team, pull together the insights and data around those campaigns to make small incremental improvements. Each week, you make little improvements and then evaluate and monitor how they perform. So a lot of the time, agile marketing is used in larger teams, and that's why I'm thinking, as a small businesses, to take that same approach. You may not be able to execute it in the same way, but really think about, putting together small touch points to evaluate if your plan's working. And this really works well if you don't come out with, a plan. All right, this is my reopening plan for the next 6 months. This is exactly what I'm going to do for marketing. It's, the market is uncertain. So you need to be really agile and flexible in how you're going to respond. So that's why coming out and, every week, just sitting down, looking at the data about what's working, what's not, can allow you to really test and optimize those campaigns and continuously measure, the impact of your marketing and your sales strategy on your plan. I recommend pulling in people from different departments so that you can get insights that aren't just coming from your marketing channels, but maybe, from your sales, what they're hearing from the marketplace, so anybody in service, to really make those decisions for you, but you based off of data instead of your gut. Now, if you decide to take this agile approach, there are 3 different things that you need to do and consider when you're moving forward with this plan. The first one is that you need to create a clear and measurable goal. And this needs to be communicated with anybody that's on the team that's going to be, providing feedback and looking at the data. So in order to measure your plan, you have to have a measurable goal. So this has to be clear and thought out. Secondly, you have to look at data to create that goal, and also be able to capture and analyze data from the sources in your plan, your marketing, channels, to be able to make an impact on the incremental changes you're going to make. So you're only going to know if you're, meeting your goal or if it's working, if you're able to, capture and look at that data. And lastly, you need the right technology to execute and measure. So if you're planning to run a marketing campaign, you're going to send emails out. It's going to be an email campaign driving to a landing page, and you're going to change some of the language in your emails and change language on your landing page to see if it drives more conversions. You'll need to have some sort of email marketing solution, as well as a way to quickly change your landing page, the text on your landing page. So just think about, the type of technology that you're going to need. And that's really what brings me to my next point, is about evaluating your current technology stack. So there aren't many times that businesses have the time to stop, evaluate, kind of replan their whole strategy and look at their technology that they've invested in over time. A lot of businesses will buy technology as they need it. And then you look overall and it's not actually doing what you want it to do for your business. So take this time that you have right now as you're kind of replanning for reopening to really, evaluate your technology. Look at your digital presence. I mean, it's been very clear during this time of lockdown that if you don't have a way to connect and communicate with your customers or prospects through digital, you really have a challenging time moving forward. You can't really operate your business in times like these. And as the society becomes more digital, you need to be able to have those brands. So evaluate your digital presence is the first part. And, like I was saying, it's really important that you use digital tools effectively to connect with your audience, because those small businesses that do actually experience higher revenue and earn more revenue per employee and higher growth. So you may not think right now, while you are, maybe tight for cash, that it's a time to invest in technology. But if you evaluate your technology and see that there's future growth in there, that may be exactly the right thing for you at this time. The second part in evaluating your technology is identifying the areas of opportunity. So as you're looking at your digital presence, gauge where you can actually you have more opportunity to increase your digital presence. What are your competitors doing? Do they have a digital presence that you don't? Should you have that? Or is there a way you can get ahead of your competitors by increasing your digital presence? So once you identify those areas of opportunity, you can really understand your technology needs. What type of technology do you currently have? And what do you need in order to execute and manage and measure these new opportunities that you're planning for your reopening? This is really important. Once you understand, what you need, and it may not be, what you currently have, you may need to switch. But once you understand that, then you can really do your research. You can, see what technologies are out there, what you can add to your business, what you can integrate. And that, really brings me to my next point. Some things that I want you to think about if you're going through this process for the first time, or you're not really sure where to start when you're evaluating your technology. These are some considerations that I like to share with our clients. One, when you look to the right here at this graphic, these are all the marketing areas that you usually need to run a simple marketing program. You need a way to manage your contacts, have their information, to send them professional looking emails, communicating on social media. You need a website and you need forms so that you can actually generate leads from your website. And you need some analytics to be able to capture insights from all these different channels. But what's really challenging when you have this siloed approach is that they aren't all integrated and working together. Your insights actually end up looking something like this jumbled mess. So consider the fact that as you're investing in things, you want to make sure they're integrated together. You want to make sure you can get an integrated report where all of your insights are in one place, so you don't have a headache trying to pull insights from different areas. Think about how the transition will be if you're purchasing a marketing platform for the first time, or if you're switching over. For you and for your team, how easy is that platform to use? How will that transition be from one to the other, or to start using one for the first time? As we're trying to build these plans fast, so you want to make sure it doesn't take up too much of your time. And the other piece to time to look at is not only how long will it take you to get up and running and learn the platform, but how long will it take you to manage it in the long run? You want to think long term as well. So if you see, managing all 6 of these platforms can take a lot of time during the week. So just keep that in mind as you're looking for what to purchase. And if you are looking for a new solution, DirectLync is a great platform for you to look at. We actually have an all-inclusive platform. So when you looked at all 6 of those areas, we have that all-in-one, which really gives you no hassle integration. Our platform was built from the ground up to be integrated. It seamlessly integrates between all of those different types of platforms that you would need. it's all in one instead of being multiple. So your contacts and your email marketing and social media, they all talk to each other, which allows you to more effectively communicate to your customers. You can understand if your customer is interacting with your email, how they're engaging with you, so that you can send them the right message at the right time. And one of the things that we really pride ourselves on for our platform is how easy it is to use. Like we hear that from all of our customers, is that, it's easy to get onboarded and up and running, but very easy to use as you move forward. If you add a member to your team, it doesn't take long to train them and get them running. And lastly, you don't have that jumbled mess of insights like you did in the last page. All of your reports and your insights are in one platform and one place for you, so you can make those quick decisions to change your plan going forward. All right, well, I think that's it for the presentation. I know Tara has just a quick review for you.
Yeah, so we know it's a lot of information to take in. So just to quickly sum everything up that we kind of touched on is, first, let's take a moment and just pause what we're currently doing. It's important, like Christine had talked about, let's do our research and really evaluate the needs of our customers. Examine what your digital presence looks like, and then we can take a closer look at what your brand or messaging is actually trying to convey. And then, importantly, we need to remember to pivot. We must shift to adjust our messaging and capture that data and focus more on that relationship building component while offering value to your customers. And lastly, prioritize a plan to then execute through the use of digital marketing technology in order to really be successful with your efforts. We hope that talking through these various steps provided some sort of clarity and insight for you about how, we can move forward during this time from now into the future. And then I believe that brings us to the question and answer section. So if you did have any questions, feel free to send them in to us. It does look like we got a couple here. So let's take a look. I have never run social ads before, but it seems like it may be a good time to start since you mentioned the prices are lower. How do I get started with ads? I can take this question, Christine. A great place to start is most always on Facebook. If you are new to running Facebook ads, you can easily head to your business profile and you can find a button that is labeled promote. Facebook really does a great job at making it easy for beginners to follow a step-by-step guide to set up an ad. They ask you things like what you're trying to promote, if it's building your following or to promote a post. And it kind of walks you through the steps. So you can then target your ad based on location or age or other specific interests and demographics. So it's a really great way to reach your audience and get your brand out there. So definitely give it a try and see how it goes. Let's see. How long does it take to get up and running on DirectLync? Christine, you want to take that one?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it's pretty easy to get up and running. Right now, we're offering a 60-day free trial, so you can actually try the platform before you invest in it. But it doesn't take a long time. We work with, we have a free onboarding implementation team that really helps you, either move your contacts and your information from one platform to our platform, or get your contacts in there from depending, where you have them hosted now. But we really walk you through the whole process. I would say, it takes most of our customers, depending on how active they are, a week, if they really, if you're really working on it to get it up and running. So, and we help you with that all the way through from the start. And as you continue to use it, we're always here for support. So it's pretty easy to get going.
And then Christine, if you wanted to piggyback off that, someone was curious about pricing for DirectLync.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we have the extended 60-day free trial. Our pricing is actually all on our website. So if you go to directlync.com and you press pricing, you can actually calculate a package that's right for you. So we do our pricing a little bit differently than other, softwares. We don't put you in a tiered model. We actually let you pick, what you need and build a package off of that. So you don't, have things that you're not using, but you're paying for. Everything you need is kind of calculated by you. And you can play around with that calculator on our site to get a feel for, how much it would cost. But, we start at $20, so it's not a, huge monthly fee for you.
Okay, great. Someone asked, what tools can you use for surveys? So this is great. As Christine had mentioned about implementing some sort of surveys to get out there now. Some great services or some programs you can use are SurveyMonkey is great. Google Forms offers a free way to get surveys out there. And if you did want to get a little bit fancier with the forms or the surveys, I'm sorry, you can use Get Feedback is another one. So hopefully that helps. Someone did send in another question. I am the owner of the brand new fitness center, the Max Challenge in Feasterville, PA. We were supposed to have our grand opening on April 27th, but everything stopped because of COVID-19. We were about to have our trial classes in early April. Can you suggest how I can reach out to my prospect leads that I have, and how do I work towards opening post-COVID? What my text messages should look like and phone calls to those prospects. So that's a great question, and congratulations on your new endeavor. I think a lot of people are really struggling with what exactly to get out there now, but I think some of the things we touched on about being empathetic and just checking in with everyone. People that did want to join the fitness center, obviously not able to do so. So a lot of businesses have been doing Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives, offering kind of like a glimpse of what your services would be. So it's actually a really great time to get that awareness out there and kind of become a thought leader and showing exactly what you're capable of offering. And as we suggested, I think the surveys are also a great way to see what your potential prospects and clients would be comfortable with once you do open, and definitely providing some sort of information as to your updates and keeping people in the loop. I think a lot of people are really looking to just stay connected and be up to date with the latest.
Yeah, and I think if I could add to that, I know you had mentioned, how can you reach out to them? If you have their emails, using an email platform is a great way to kind of, send a message easily to a lot of different people. So it's not, one by one, but it's still personalized. So I would recommend, using an email platform to send a nice templated email and talk about, I think it's really important now. People are starting to think about, that time where they can use, go to the gym or other types of things. It's down the line, but talking about, what you'll implement at your business to make sure it's clean and healthy just gives people, that peace of mind that when they do decide to go back to the gym, they know that you're going to make it a clean place for them to be, that you're thinking about their safety and their cleanliness. So just kind of outlining those things for them is a great way to, build that trust before you're even opening. And just like Tara mentioned, there's been a lot of fitness centers and that have primarily only been in person that are starting to put out some great content digitally and allowing people to use it for free, which kind of gets a feel of, how if they do take classes with you or use come to your gym, that they'll really kind of they already are building that relationship with you and the people that work there kind of online before you even get into your facility.
Great. I think that sums it up for the question part of the webinar.
Yeah, I think that's it. Well, the last piece is just kind of, how we can help you at DirectLync. I mentioned earlier about our platform and the free trial. So you can always sign up for a free trial at directlync.com. We are also offering free consultations. So if you are starting to put together your reopening plan, you're not sure exactly, if it's the right way to go, or you're not sure if you're taking everything into consideration, please email me, christine.williams@directlync.com, and we'll set you up for a free consultation. We can kind of talk through some of those points and help you make sure you're on the right track going forward. We also have a bunch of different COVID-19 resources, different webinars and blog posts to really help people through this time. We're even highlighting some local businesses and some of the great things that they've been doing to, alter their business during COVID. So you can check that out, directlync.com/COVID-19 response. And on the right here, just, a little bit more about DirectLync. We talked about the platform that we offer, but we also really help businesses, grow their digital presence. So if you're thinking about right now reinvesting, in your website, really taking the time to make sure, it's responsive, it looks good, you can get the most lead generation potential out of it. We help businesses build, design their website for them. We also have a great team of creatives on our team that can help you, with your branding as well as social media. So Tara is our social media manager. She can really help you figure out, what should be your strategy going forward, or even manage it for you. So that's it from us today. Thank you all so much. This was a great conversation. So I really appreciate everybody joining and taking the time out of their day to, spend this with us, talking a little bit about, the time period and how to change your sales and marketing. I hope it was valuable for you.
Thank you.